Lori's got a brand new bike. Well, greetings everybody. This is Bruce coming at you. But it's not about me tonight. This is about Lori's brand new bike. Yes, indeed, everybody. Lori got a brand new bike. She got the new Wallke H7. It comes in an all-wheel drive, but she just got the rear hub motor. She felt that she didn't need an all-wheel drive because Lori can hang. So I'm taking it out on a test drive. We went out on a 35-mile drive last weekend, and she said the motor is making noise. So I'm just taking it on the ride, seeing what she was talking about. If it is indeed making noise. So we're just gonna do an evening drive here. It's a little on the cool side. I don't know how far I'm gonna go out, but I'll explain, or I'll show you all her bike in a few seconds. So I call this episode, Lori's got a brand new bike. The one thing that I do notice about this bike is that rides real smooth. Not that the predecessor, the H6 Max ST, rode any rougher, but this one has a much more robust frame on it, and I guess they made the frame more robust because to be able to handle those two motors, if you should choose to get those. But the step through is much higher than the old one. I shouldn't say old because we just got the predecessors last November, so they just came out with this new model. Hi, how are you? Good. But I do notice the ghost pedaling on this model happens very early. On my H6 step through, I could pedal probably up until like 18, 19 miles an hour. On this one, you start ghost pedaling at 12, 13 miles. And after that, it's pretty much, when you pedal, it engages it's a cadence sensor. So when you start pedaling, it engages the motor right away. So you can either use the throttle to engage the motor or just start pedaling and the motor engages. Hi, how are you? Fine, thanks. And that's much different than the previous model. Also, they stepped down the motor. The H6 ST had a 1200 watt motor, and this rear hub motor is 1000 watts. But the bike feels very fast and nimble, like the H6. I can't say the H9 because I haven't driven an H9 yet. Or if ever, unless Wallke sends me one. No, I was in a contest and I did win an H6. So who knows what Wallke has in store. Woof. Hint, hint. Now, if you deal with the makers of Wallke, their customer service, whether it be online, very friendly, very efficient, and they aim to make their customers happy. They do not like to hear a lot of complaints, and they try to make sure that your complaints are not valid. They do take care of you. You just have to be patient because they are operating online and probably on another continent of China. Yes, it is a Chinese company, and I think that they are acutely aware of the reputation that the other bikes manufacturers carry, and they don't want to live up to that reputation. So they do their customers right, at least as far as I know. As far as I'm concerned, I've had some issues, and they have taken care of them. They did not let me down. Just keep in mind to be courteous. Should be courteous to anybody. It's a shame that you have to say that to people these days, but in dealing with them, be courteous and respectful, because they are that in return. Okay, so also the difference in these bikes is I'm in PS3 right now, and we're going about 19 miles an hour. I don't know if it's PS or PA. Oh, it's PAS, pedal assist. I'm in pedal assist 3, and at 3 you go around 19 miles per hour. No, pedal assist 3, in the previous model you would go between 21 and 22 miles per hour. So that's the difference here. If you're in pedal assist 2, I would say you go around 13 miles an hour. My magic spot with my H6 ST is Power Assist 3. And Power Assist 2. And Power Assist 2 on the previous model, you could go probably between 16 and 19 miles per hour. And you could pedal. There was no ghost pedaling. But with this, you will ghost. Thank you. So this is the horse farm. I guess if you're kind of like reviewing a bike, it's good to go on the path that you've gone on in the past so that you can compare. Hi, how are you? So you can compare the ride, and so far this ride is good. Lori. going to kick it up to PS4, see if I can get any noise out of this. Uh-oh. We have some bikers ahead. Some of these bikers are purists, and they turn their nose up at e-bikes. No, I don't think he had an e-bike. Now we're zooming now. I mean, I'm going at PS4. We're up to 25 miles an hour. Well, 24 miles an hour. Hi, how are you? So I think the noise, being that the tires are new and they're the knob tires, I think that's what Lori could be confusing for that it's a noisier ride compared to her 8.6. She still has her 8.6. And it's getting kind of nippy out here. I think I'm just gonna go down this path and then I'm gonna go back home. Okay. Should have wore a jacket. So I'm going up this incline at pedal assist 4, and I'm still ghost pedaling. So maybe Wallke intended for this model of their bike to be more, I guess, moped oriented. Maybe, possibly, because that's the effect that I feel. Very strong headlight. I like this model. It's a different ride. Now, the battery has to get broken into because from my experience with the previous bikes, for my bike, I was always watching the battery, and because I was always concerned that I was going to have a big enough charge to take me long distances. So this bike has gone 40 miles on the first charge, and it's at 20%. When I left the house, it was at 15%. And I've come probably about 5 miles so far, I think. Now, Lori could do a review about this bike herself, and she just might in the future. I'm going to leave that up to her. But I thought I would kill 2 birds with 1 stone and just give a review while I'm at it. Now, the makers of Wallke likes for, well, let me put it this way. The makers of Wallke are concerned about their patrons, how the bicycles make them feel. They want to make us happy. And so when we get our bikes, they're interested in how it makes us feel. All right, well, I'll put it this way. This is how it makes me feel. It just gives me a sense of exhilaration to be out here riding these bikes. If I weren't doing this, I'd be at home watching YouTube or preparing to perform the next day, getting my set list together. Hi, how are you? Whoa! E-bikers are tearing this trail up. I love it. And there was a question. Thank you. Hi. There was a question that I remember I was interacting with Wallke once. And they asked, what are your views that e-bikes may be the major source of transportation one day? And I said, well, I don't know about China, but in this country, I can't see it. Because Americans like everything automated. I can't see a whole bunch of Americans getting out pedaling bicycles manually, whether it's a regular bicycle or an electric bicycle. But the amount of e-bikes that I've just seen on the trail today may prove me wrong. Well, bats. I do not like bats. May just prove me wrong. Just in the time that I've done this video, I've probably seen between 6 and 8 e-bikes. So it may be a new age. Now, this battery's going down pretty quick, and I do have it in pedal assist 5. I didn't realize I was up to 5. So I'm going to back down to 3. Now I do notice that this bike is somewhat noisier than the previous model. So I think that's maybe what Lori's hearing. It's not the motor, it's just the bike in general. Because it's noisy when I'm just coasting without the motor engaged. So that may be due to the tires. We're just getting broken in, with the bearings and things like that. So we'll see over time. But yeah, I'm impressed with this bike. As I said, it has a very different ride than the previous model, but it's just different. I don't think it's bad or worse. I think it's just different because it's a different bike. The frame is built differently, and that in itself can give you a different ride. It's a heavier bike, I think. I thought the other one, the previous model, was heavy at 101, and I think this is a little heavier, like maybe 108 pounds. I've only ridden one other e-bike. I rode the Juliet Iahora, and I wasn't impressed. I think every Wallke that I've ever ridden, I'm impressed. They just put together a good bike. Sturdy, reliable. You definitely take command of the road when you're on a Wallke. And I'm speaking highly of the bike because I think it deserves it. A truck rode right over that cone. Instead of going around it, people are really something these days. Usually cones are set up because they don't want you to, they want you to respect it. They don't want you to drive wherever the cones are, and that truck just drove right over it. Man, that makes me, upsets me. It's like, who the heck do they think they are? You know, that's what's wrong with things now. Who the heck do people think they are? Well, anyway. The brakes work very well. There's a guy, he calls himself Happy Tall or whatever. He gave a very good review to the H7 ST. He put it through his usual paces, and I was happy to see that he was impressed with this model. I think Lori's going to be, she's going to be very happy with this bike. So with this episode, Lori's got a brand new bike. Signing off.